The air is thick with danger. Your Majesty, I'm Shahrzad, your bride for tonight. Oh, you're Jafar's daughter. Quite the beauty. No wonder your father kept you hidden. Your father begged me to spare you, yet you still come on your own. Tell me, what are you really up to? Your Majesty, I mean no disrespect. My father, as your vizier, has always proven his loyalty through actions. And that is why I'm here, to offer you a gift. Please allow me to tell a story, one I'm sure you'll enjoy. Oh, a story. I'm skeptical of your true intentions. Go on, then, but don't try any tricks. Alright, got him to mention the weapon. I suspect you're a woman with malicious intent. If you dare to tell a mischievous story, you'll face the consequences. Okay. How do I go about this? My liege, have you heard of the tale of the messenger of the Silk Road? It is quite the thrilling journey, I must say. A tale of the Silk Road, you say? Proceed and make it worth my royal ears. In this journey, the messenger faces countless perils, and his destiny intertwines with that of a ruthless king. Indeed, it all started one day when he was tending to his horses, and received a most suspicious correspondence. What did you say? I can't hear you. Say it again. What? A correspondence, a letter. It was written in rather poor handwriting, and pleaded for the messenger to expedite his journey from... What cities are on the Silk Road? Let's see, we're thinking Persia, we're thinking India, China. Delhi to Baghdad. A letter from the accursed Delhi to the fabled Baghdad. Intriguing. Continue your yarn, but do not dawdle. The messenger, a wily fellow, sets forth with haste, his heart filled with trepidation, for the king's fury waits for no man. Yes, it is true the letter was adorned with the royal seal. However, the messenger could hardly believe that a letter from the king would be written with such poor handwriting. He set out on his journey with great suspicion bubbling in his heart. Suspicion? The fool! Does he not know that a king's command is law, no matter the hand it's written in? With each step the messenger's doubt grew, unaware that destiny had laid a treacherous path fraught with dangers and many merciless winds. After 3 days of travel, he decided to stop and rest a night in a local inn in a city in Persia. A night in a Persian inn, you say? A place of rest and revelry, no doubt. What occurrences transpired there, I wonder? In that humble establishment, the messenger's fate took a sudden turn, as a band of rogues plotted his demise, all the while the king's letter burning a hole in his pouch. The inn was out of rooms. However, as the messenger was about to leave, a rugged young man offered to share his room with the messenger, for a fee, of course. A fee, the audacity! What choice did the poor wretch have? Pray tell what became of this youth's generosity. With coins exchanged and caution thrown to the wind, the messenger accepted, unaware that this youth was no mere traveler, but a conniving assassin. The messenger had trouble falling asleep, as he did on most nights. Sharing a room with a stranger made his anxiety all the more troublesome. The weak-minded messenger, unable to rest with a stranger in his presence. What a pitiful sight he must have been. In the dead of night, with the moon casting eerie shadows, the messenger lay awake, every creak and whisper feeding his paranoia. Little did he know his companion's blade was at the ready. Alright, we'll take a dagger. We need to branch out, but we'll take a dagger. Shadow's Caress. Alright, a slender, blackened blade honed to perfection, hidden in the shadows, ready to strike with a whisper, as quiet as the night itself. The assassin, thinking his quarry was asleep, made his move. However, the messenger was wide awake. He rolled out of the way of the strike. And grabbed at an item on the mantle, which he had seen early in the night, hoping it might save him from a gruesome end. A narrow escape, but what trinket did he grasp in his trembling fingers? Speak before I lose my royal patience! The messenger's reflexes were his saving grace as he snatched the item, a #_0 torch, perhaps, or an iron sword, brandishing it with a desperate courage, ready to face his would-be killer. Alright, a sword on the mantle. That makes sense. That's good. This should be better than a dagger. I hope. It's worse? Oh! Oh no! We have 11 damage in total. We need some, like, mythic quality weapons. Iron Sword of the Inn. A trusty iron sword found on the mantle of a Persian inn that became a tool of desperate survival for the messenger against an unknown assassin. And I guess it's a mantle sword, so it's not going to be good. But like, Okay, we need to really talk up these other weapons. The messenger ran his would-be assassin through, then quickly fled the inn before his homicide was discovered. However, before leaving, he rifled through the assassin's belongings and found a shimmering map signed by Zeus, of all people. Are you going to sleep, Fairslash? Huh? Hope these are good bedtime stories. Zeus, preposterous! You dare to bring the gods of old into my presence? Stop this nonsense at once. A map signed by a deity is a fool's fancy. My apologies. The map was actually signed by Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. Now that is the name that suits a king's ear. A map from such a conqueror must hold great value indeed. The messenger, now a fugitive, clutches the map, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and greed, knowing it may lead to treasures that could change his fate or bring it to a swift end. The map marked a location along the Persian Gulf as the resting place of great Alexander's strength. The messenger figured that if there was any time in his life he required strength, it was now when his life was under threat from an unknown force. And so he set off towards the Persian Gulf and Alexander's strength, whatever it may be. The resting place of great Alexander's strength. Cryptic location that beckons the foolishly bold. Let's see if this messenger's curiosity leads to his glory or his grave. With the map as his guide, the messenger journeyed towards the Persian Gulf, the salty air thick with the promise of ancient power and perilous adventure. He tried following the map to the best of his abilities, however he was not familiar with the Greek it was written in. Greek, you say, the language of scholars and conquerors. The messenger's ignorance is laughable. How will he fare without the wisdom to decipher such a treasure? Blindly following the map's ancient Greek script, the messenger stumbles through the dunes, his ignorance a barrier between him and the fabled strength of Alexander. In a small village, where he stops to draw water from a well, he happens upon a young lady with relatively fair skin for the region. A fair-skinned beauty in the midst of the village. How intriguing. Perhaps she holds the key to the messenger's quest. Or is she another obstacle in his path? The messenger, thirsty and weary, finds solace at the well, where a vision of loveliness appears. Her fair skin a stark contrast to the harsh landscape beckoning him towards a new mystery. What has you looking so somber? The woman asks. My name is Helen. From West Asia Minor. Care for a chat?
Helen from West Asia Minor. A chat. Messenger must be cautious. Beauty often hides treachery. Let's see if he falls for her charms. The messenger, despite his weariness, finds himself drawn to her gentle voice. With a nod, engages in conversation, unaware of the secret she may hold, or the dangers they may bring.
He confides in Helen that he is searching for Alexander's strength, and shows her the map, which has confounded him thus far.
Fool, does he not know that trust is a luxury he cannot afford? To show the map to a stranger, no less. Let's see if this Helen is a savior or snake in the grass. With a mixture of hope and stupidity, the messenger reveals his quest to Helen. The map's intricate lines dancing before her eyes as her face betrays neither malice nor sympathy.
You can't read it, she asks. I could decipher it easily. Greek is my mother tongue, after all.
Ah, the convenience of her fluency. But is it truly that simple? The messenger should be wary of such easy solutions. The messenger's eyes widen with relief as Helen offers her skills. Her words a seductive melody that tempts him with the promise of revelation. Yet a kernel of doubt lingers in the back of his mind.
Why would you help me? He asks. What do you stand to gain?
A sensible question at last. No act of kindness is without its price. Let's hear her answer, for it will no doubt shape the messenger's fate. Helen's smile turns enigmatic as she pauses. The silence weighted with an unspoken intention before she speaks of a debt to be repaid, or perhaps a desire for a slice of Alexander's fabled strength herself.
The two agree to search together for it, and set out back towards the Persian Gulf. In short order, they find themselves at the steps of an ancient Greek temple.
A partnership formed, but lots lies within the ancient Greek temple. The messenger's fate is entwined with this Helen, for better or for worse. With the map's secrets now shared, the duo approaches the temple's weathered steps, the weight of history pressing upon them as they edge closer to the heart of Alexander's mystery.
Helen deciphers a puzzle etched into the walls of the temple. And together, she and the messenger
step on the tiles therein in a certain pattern, which opens up a secret passage at the back of the temple.
Clever Helen to decipher the temple's secrets. The messenger had better hope her skills do not lead him into a trap. Following Helen's keen eye and steady hand, the tile gives way to a hidden passage, the echoes of their footsteps resonating through the dark corridor, leading them towards destiny or demise.
At the end of the passage, they find a chamber bathed in the light of the sun. In the center of the chamber is a pool, and in the center of the pool stands a fabulous marble statue of none other than the great King Alexander himself.
A statue of Alexander. The audacity to capture the great Conqueror's image. What secrets does this chamber hold, I wonder? The chamber, illuminated by the sun's rays, reveals the majestic statue of Alexander, his marble form exuding power and grace, as if guarding a treasure more precious than gold.
At his foot is a chest, open ever so slightly, and whatever lied within the chest was glowing a bright light, illuminating the room more so than even the sunlight.
Alexander's strength, the two muttered in unison. The chest glowing with an otherworldly light. Must contain Alexander's strength indeed. But what is it, I ask you? Speak before my curiosity overwhelms me. The chest ajar emits a radiant glow, casting the room in a celestial splendor as the two stand in awe, their voices merging in hushed tones, acknowledging the presence of a legendary power.
It takes the strength of both of them to open the chest fully, and inside they behold a great and terrifying item, which truly must have been Alexander's strength, the secret to why he never lost a battle.
The secret to Alexander's invincibility. I am breathless with anticipation. Reveal it at once. Let's see if this treasure lives up to its fabled reputation. The collective heave, the chest yields its secrets, revealing an item of such magnitude and terror that it resize imagifies Alexander's legacy. Tool of war that may have decided the outcome of battles and secured his place in history.
I was expecting someone a bit more regal, a voice echoed. A mysterious voice.
Mysterious voice. Still takes a sudden and foolish turn. I'm the king and I demand proper narrative, not cheap theatrics.
The pair turn around and witness Alexander himself in the flesh. Adorned in finely constructed armor.
Alexander in the flesh? Preposterous! Yet the messenger's tale is compelling. Let's see where this impossible vision leads. Stunned, the pair spin to face the very image of Alexander, his armor gleaming in his presence, commanding as if time itself is bent to his will, and the Conqueror stands before them as alive as the legends themselves.
And Alexander the Great's armor. Like, yeah. That's gotta work. That's gotta be good. That's a good achievement. Okay. And? Don't bug out on me, game. Come on. Please. What is it? We'll give it a second. Okay, there we go. Alexander's gleaming mail. 10 power. Alright, his armor gleaming. A legendary armor worn by the great conqueror Alexander the Great. Its polished surface reflects the sunlight, intimidating enemies and inspiring awe. What do you want with us? What do you want? Helen asked. Okay. Sorry, too fast. Alexander, what are you doing here? How are you alive? Helen asked. What's... So we got right now a 10, like a, what, 5 and, like a 6 and a 5, I think? Sort of like.
Helen dares to question the great Alexander. Her boldness is either her undoing or her salvation. Let's hear the Conqueror's response. Alexander's eyes, filled with ancient wisdom, lock onto Helen as he speaks of timeless secrets and the endurance of his spirit, his voice resonating through the ages. I am the echo of my own greatness, preserved by the strength you now seek. Legends never die, you fools. A mortal, on the other hand, cryptic response from the great Conqueror. Seems the messenger and Helen are in the presence of more than just a legend. Alexander's words hang in the air, a chilling reminder of the ephemeral nature of man as he stands immutable, a testament to the enduring power of myth and the transient lives of mortals.
I stand before you unmatched. Alexander said. Though I expected a king, I'll humor you. If you believe yourself worthy of my power, worthy of my legacy, then pick up my strength and wield it against me. If you dare. Challenge from the great Alexander. It is a test of worthiness indeed. Let's see if the messenger has the courage to rise to the occasion. With a mix of hubris and curiosity, Alexander issues a challenge, inviting the messenger to claim his strength and face him in combat. A duel that will prove the worth of his heart and the depth of his desire to inherit the Conqueror's legacy. The messenger moved to grab Alexander's strength from the chest. But Helen grabbed his wrist and pushed him away. No, this is not your fight, she said. Fate works too. I am the latest branch, the latest fruit of Alexander's loins. As his descendant, it is my job to pick up his legacy and claim it for the modern era. Helen claims a divine lineage. Her audacity knows no bounds. Is she truly of Alexander's blood? Let us see if her words hold truth or are merely a ploy. In a sudden twist, Helen asserts her claim. Her fingers wrapped tight around the messenger's wrist, her eyes alight with a fierce determination, as she proclaims herself the heir to Alexander's greatness, the one destined to carry his legacy into a new age. Alexander smirks and advances. Helen pushes the messenger aside and takes the strength of Alexander from the chest and turns on her ancestor, ready for combat. Now let's see what Alexander's strength actually is. I hope he's going to describe what type of weapon it is. The stage is set for a confrontation of the ages. Helen, bold and resolute, faces her ancestor. Let's see if she has the mettle to match his might. With a smirk, Alexander watches as Helen asserts her place, shoving the messengers aside and lifting the fabled strength from the chest. Her gaze locking onto the Conqueror as she readies herself for the ultimate test of her birthright. Combat with the very spirit of Alexander himself. It really does suit you. Alexander says. Gesturing towards his strength, the legendary relic now in Helen's hands. Okay, now please describe it. What is it? What is it, King? I want to know. I'm thinking a spear?
Alexander's approval, a rare commodity indeed. His nod towards the relic in Helen's hands is a powerful endorsement. Now let's see how she wields it. Alexander's words are a benediction. His gesture a passing of the torch as he acknowledges Helen's right to the relic. With the legendary strength in her grasp, she stands on the cusp of proving herself. A worthy heir, her every move under the scrutiny of her ancestors' piercing gaze. Alexander nods and smirks. Helen takes this as her signal to charge forth and take a swing at him. With the very relic he used long ago to fell the empire in which they now stood. Helen charges with the might of her ancestors' relic. The audacity! She dares to strike at the very figure who shaped empires. What a sight it must be. With Alexander's silent endorsement, Helen springs into action. The relic's weighty swing, a testament to her resolve as she aims it at the Conqueror. A blow that could echo through the annals of time, repeating history or altering it forever. She aims for her ancestor's head, but Alexander blocks it easily and counters with his own flurry of blows. Helen retreats until she finds an opening and takes a stab straight at Alexander's knee. We're literally describing a fight scene. A weapon has to be mentioned. It's so hard to describe a fight scene without a weapon, without using a weapon yourself. A dance of combat between ancestor and heir. Helen's bravery is commendable, but can she truly best the great Alexander? Alexander parries Helen's initial strike with ease, his counterattack in a storm of blows that forces her to retreat. Yet in the chaos, she finds an opening, driving the relic straight towards her ancestor's knee, with a move that could turn the tide of their epic duel. What is this weapon? Okay, I guess we keep describing the fight scene until he mentions a weapon. Alexander grimaces in pain before punching Helen in the face. That's not fair! Helen complained. Do you think I conquered the world with fairness? Alexander countered.
And he's thinking long and hard about this one. Alexander's retort is a harsh lesson in the realities of conquest. Helen's complaint is laughable in the face of his might. With a grimace of pain, Alexander reiterates his punch, a forceful reminder that the world was not one with fairness. Helen's protest is met with a cutting reply. Do you think I conquered the world with fairness? Echoing through the chamber. His words are a stark reminder of the cruel truths of power. Helen recovers and takes another swing at Alexander's head. He ducks out of the way. Helen's determination is unyielding. She faces her ancestor with unwavering courage, but can she land the decisive blow? Will Alexander's experience prevail? With a battle cry, Helen lunges forward, her swing aimed square at Alexander's head. In a display of his timeless agility, he ducks out of the way. The force of her blow slicing through the air, missing its mark, leaving no doubt about her resolve to claim her birthright. If you think you can best me by swinging that thing around like a hunk of metal, you're sorely mistaken, Alexander said derisively. If you cannot unlock its deeper powers, then you have no right to call yourself my flesh and blood. Alexander's derision is a taunt, challenging Helen to rise to the true depths of her potential. Can she unlock the relic's secrets and prove her worth? Alexander's voice rings with disdain as he mocks Helen's efforts, challenging her to tap into the relic's true power. His words are a gauntlet thrown down, demanding that she demonstrate her right to bear his name by unlocking the deeper mysteries of the item she wields. Helen closes her eyes and meditates, as Alexander creeps forward. Helen's meditation is a bold move in the face of her ancestor's advance. Perhaps she seeks the answers within, or a moment of clarity to turn the tide. With her eyes closed, Helen enters a state of deep meditation, her breathing steady, her focus unyielding. As Alexander creeps toward her, stillness is a stark contrast to his aggressive stance, a silent battle of wits that could determine the outcome of their confrontation. Yes. Alexander readies to swing down on Helen's head. But just then, Helen opens her eyes and lunges forward, plunging Alexander's strength into his chest, the shaft reaching all the way through, as lightning strikes around her and electrifies her opponent's apparel. Alright, come on. I said shaft. It's clearly a spear. Acknowledge it as such.
A dramatic turn of events. Helen's timing is impeccable, and the power she wields is fearsome indeed. Let's see if she had vanquished her ancestor, or if Alexander has one last trick up his sleeve. In the very nick of time, Helen opens her eyes, lunging forward with the relic's might, its shaft piercing Alexander's chest as lightning crackles around her. The air is charged with ancient powers. Her opponent's apparel sizzles with electricity. The tables turned in a heartbeat. Alexander smiles and chuckles. Finally, one worthy to wield it. Now go forth and conquer, my daughter. You have my blessing. Alexander pulls his legendary weapon from his chest and places it bloodily in Helen's outstretched arms. The lingering shocks still crackling around the room. Okay. So you... Please, just describe what it is, King. I mean, this has been a fun fight scene. I'm glad. I wonder, is he like... It's almost as if he's intentionally not naming the weapon. Just so he could get to the end of the story. Yeah, I don't hate him for it. It's been a fun story. It's taken a while to come up with this one. What did you say? I can't hear you. Say it again. Click here to insert last input. Okay, we say it again. Just a little hiccup there. Too complex for him to think of in one time. Alexander's approval is the highest honor. Helen has proven herself a worthy heir, and now she holds the weapon that could change the course of history. With a smile and a chuckle, Alexander acknowledges Helen's triumph. His words, a paternal blessing as he retrieves his legendary weapon from his chest, its hilt dripping with the essence of his power. He offers it to Helen, whose outstretched arms accept the burden of destiny. The weapon's energy still crackling around the room, a portent of her future conquests. Name it. The messenger looked on at the former stranger turned friend turned potential conqueror, holding up her trophy. In that moment, he wondered what precisely it was that she held, that she welled. The messenger's awe is understandable. To witness such a transformation is a rare sight indeed. Let's hear his thoughts on this momentous occasion. The messenger, a mere spectator to this epic saga, gazes in wonder at Helen, once a stranger, now a friend, and ultimately a conqueror in her own right. He ponders the nature of the weapon she wields, its significance, and the potential it holds for a future of their world. He racks his brain trying to classify it.
Such a glorious item deserved to be recorded properly in the history books, he reckoned.
The messenger's desire to document this treasure is a noble endeavor. Such an artifact could indeed become the stuff of legend. Intrigued and awed, the messenger struggles to categorize the weapon's greatness, recognizing that it warrants a place in the annals of history. He imagines the stories that could be told, the impact it could have in the world, and the legacy it might leave for future generations.
In summary, Alexander's strength is... What do you think, King? What sort of strength is this?
You cannot simply summarize Alexander's strength in such a manner. It is a topic that demands grand narrative, not a trite conclusion.
You're at 10. You're at 5, 15. We're at 21. We just need a 5 weapon. Like, I've been trying... If you can't tell, I've been trying to get Alexander's strength to be the weapon forever. As the messenger and Helen go to celebrate, suddenly a foreign king barges into the chamber. Helen gives him a look of great threat. And wastes no time getting into a stance for combat. No! 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 What is... No!
Foreign king crashes this moment of celebration. Helen's immediate response is a testament to her readiness in battle. Let's see how she faces a new challenge. In the midst of their triumph, foreign king bursts into the chamber. His presence an unwelcome inclusion. Helen, without hesitation, assumes a defensive stance, her eyes narrowing with a look of great threat. The air in the room grows tense as she prepares to defend her hard-won victory against this new adversary.
We go through the whole fight scene when he never mentions a weapon once. Man, I want to give it one more go. I know, like, technically we're supposed to get an FTL right now, but I'm enthralled.